from Thailand. Sir his research interest lies in the development of cost-effective decompression machine for lymphedema management, development and upgradation of morbidity management strategies of lymphatic urinalysis. His works also include clinical epidemiology and clinical trials in lymphatic fibrosis, community-based approaches in control of dengue, development of diagnostic tools for scrub typhus, and many others. We welcome you, sir, to share with us on medical device design.
Good morning, everybody. And it is pleasant to see you, especially the younger ones in this auditorium. Basically, as he said, I am a clinician and I work for my patients. And my desire is to work with the ground reality for the needs of the patients and I'm not a different. So with that one introduction, I would like to start with the apologies for starting this session late. And I take the full responsibility for that. Can you go to the next slide? I'm not wasting the time, straight away go to that. And many of the slides are very basic slides, which you must be knowing already. So I will just go through some of the slides very fast. You know that what's a medical device? It's anything from the plaster to any equipment that can save the life. That's what we call as a medical device. So now you know what is the range. The range is from the scratch to the equipment that can save the life of the patients. So you see a device that's way to serve the purpose of any of these four activities. Either it is diagnosis, treatment, rehabilitation, or the prevention. This is the trend now, but the trend is getting changed. Now we are going towards the prevention aspects. And of course, these drugs and vaccines are not covered under the cases because they are covered under the Drugs and Chemical Act. Next slide, please. And even knowing all these things. So I just say that the very basis of classifying the medical devices based on the only factor, the risk to the consumer, that's the patient, or the one who is using the medical device. That is the only criteria that we use for the classification of the medical device. And we have three sets of classification of categorization. That is that, as usual, that we have US classification and European classification, and of course we have Indian classification. Next slide, please. And you know that the last one basically has no risk purpose or very minimal risk for punishment. So you don't require any of the approvals for other things. And the devices has to go through only certain general principles for the factors which it does undergo and which is similar to any other consumer goods. And class 2 is little above that and which will have the moderate risk to the patients and it has to go through the general control as well as special controls. But the one which is very, very important is the class 3, which are mostly life-saving equipments or life-supporting equipment or which can rehabilitate the patients. These are coming under the class 3 and these specifically require an approval. Next page, please. The European classification is little different from the American classification. They have 4 categories because they have divided their moderate into low into 2 categories. One is minimal or negligible risk or low risk. And I'm not sure how they are going to categorize it very well. But however, the classification is just that. Next slide, please. Unfortunately, unfortunately we have certain ambiguity in this because Indian system has got full classification, but unfortunately they give a range, low to medium to high, high. So it's very difficult to segregate in that way. So this kind of ambiguity can still exist in Indian classification. And maybe probably because this is a bureaucratic setup, so they want to say that their particular device is low or moderate. So that they can take the independent decision on that. Next slide. So as you know that the class 1 devices are not intended for any support for the patients in terms of the lifestyle, or it cannot be used as internal implant, or it cannot be used as any rehabilitative disease cannot come under the class 1. Class 1 undergoes this general categories, which is like any other consumables which you know already. And one thing which is very, very particular about this particular aspect is that the device that you are developing or the device that you are putting into the practice does not have device which has already been banned or restricted to use in the communities. Next slide. So there are certain important things which you are supposed to know that under class 2, then you have to go for pre-marketing notification which is required. Without the pre-marketing notification, you cannot put this device into practice. But as far as this class 3 is concerned, then it has to go through the pre-marketing approval. Without the pre-marketing approval, you cannot put this device into the practice. And as you know that the time taken for the approval of medium risk devices and high risk devices are completely different. Almost it takes 2 or up to 3 years for getting the PMA from the authorities, and it's also a costly effort. You are supposed when if you are going to the American system, you have to spend around $30,000 for that. Next slide. As you know that WHO is estimated that we do not have the exact number so far on these days. But WHO is estimated there are about 2 million medics over 20 lakhs of medical devices put in the community for the practice. And you can imagine that what will be the range. And you can also understand that what is the opportunities for you to think on this line. And the market size is almost costing around $625 million by 2025. And one important aspect about this is that only 10% of the devices comes under class 3 categories. And the remaining categories should come under class 1 and class 2, around 50% of the come under the moderate risk. So that we have to go through the 510(k) application, and also that it has to go through the special controls, as you know that. Next slide. And you know the device, the market size is so huge, and as you could see that in like in any other equipment and other trade, and US is dominating. It's close to 45% of the market size is US, and another 40,000 is from European Union. And now, of course, that we are coming up in the Asian regions, we are going close to 50%. And the market is going to grow very much only in the Asian countries because of the demand for various reasons. And currently, that mostly diagnostic devices, therapeutic devices, and rehabilitative devices are much in need in the market. And in India also that we go for diagnostic and rehabilitative devices in the market. Next slide. So as you could see that from India that there's going to be huge rise in that rate. It's about $50 million in 2030. And we are the top in the Asian country, and also that we are in the level of state 20 among the globe. And as you could see that there are a lot of small and medium sized enterprises are coming to the picture, and there are about 800 manufacturers in India, local manufacturers, manufacturers, and this trade is still dominated by the multinational digital companies. And of course, that SME is also coming in nowadays. And the loan is very, very high. Each at least each SME is spending around $2 million as investment. And we have post change, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. We have that. We have online. I mean, we have already done in principle to establish the medical village parks. The very advantage of the establishment of medical village parks is you get a lot of incentives and other things, tax benefits. So that with this approval, that Tamil Nadu can also establish a medical village park. And to my understanding that already they have identified land here, together. If at all that they may identify land here, so that in fact that when COVID vaccine was developed, and ICMR is one of the organizations which has developed the vaccine, and it has given to the Serum Institute. In fact, Tamil Nadu government has asked for the protection of the license for the protection of the COVID vaccines in Tamil Nadu. But unfortunately, the government of India has not provided that. So we didn't take part in the manufacturing of the COVID-19 vaccine. So, next slide, please. So what are the driving forces, especially in India? One of the major factors is the population size. So there is a need, huge need. Next is the life expectancy. That currently the life expectancy is around 67 years, but it is likely to rise to 70 years in a short period of time. And we all know that the diabetes, hypertension, and these are the non-communicable diseases which are coming up now, rather than infectious diseases. So these are chronic diseases. Chronic diseases are most of these diseases, especially diabetes, hypertension, developmental disorders, psychiatric disorders. All these diseases require almost lifelong treatment for maintenance of it. So there is a huge demand in this sector of non-communicable diseases, and the income is also going up, and people are getting the disposable income. This means that what they can sell it free. So in another couple of years, that around 8% of the population is likely to have annual income of $12,000 per year. Next slide, please. You know that the industry sector has grown so fast during the last 45 decades. And we started with the steel, then the mechanical, and now we have come to the drone manufacturing, 3D printing. So 3D printing, as you know, that it is really advanced stage, that you don't require any of the simply send the whatever, and they can manufacture the component. So it has gone to that level. So advanced manufacturing is the other field which is very, very big, and so that the production of the devices can also contain this. So similarly, similar to the growth in the industry, that the medical device need also going on. So initially that it is based on the diagnosis of the cases. Now we are shifting towards treating the patients, individual patients with the individual treatment. And also we are going to something like telemedicine, remote consultations, all these things are coming in. So information technology along with cloud manufacturing will likely to improve manufacturing in medical devices. Next slide, please. This also you know very well that where is the demand and where is the supply. Know that the population sector of India is mostly in the urban is very small, but the supply of the medical supply is mostly on the urban areas and rural areas. So this scenario is going to change in a couple of decades, so that all there will be equality, because the WHO now states that is equity in access to the healthcare. So once it is established, equity in access to the healthcare is established, there would not be any urban and rural debate. Whatever the urban people have the access or the rural people have certain medical treatment, that should be made available for the rural population also. So that divide is going to narrow down at least in a couple of months. And currently only 10% of the patients require tertiary care. The remaining patients do not come under that. Mostly that they will be waiting for their diagnosis and they will be completing their treatment part. But now the trend is going towards my individual care. Subsequently, it is going to my individual fitness. This is what people are talking about now. Now we are going from the stage of disease, we are going to the stage of fitness. So instead of saying that I am not having a disease, people try to say that I am this much fit. So the trend is going towards like that. So accordingly, the device, the manufacturing industries in particular, the development of the medical devices is also going hand to hand for the needs of the, not the patients, it's for the community. So in future, it is going to focus towards primary care, prevention care, and individual fitness. So we have a huge opportunity to work in this line. Next slide, please. This is one example which I would like to show that. This is one of the huge palliative link. So this patient was having huge lymphedema. And during the COVID time, that all the clinics were closed and there was no transport. People had to have their own way of controlling their medical problems. But this is one of the patients which was bold enough to call and ask. And subsequently, we have made this as an open facility for all our patients. So we have used the technology of the mobile technology, and we have received the patients. We have received photographs from the patients. We have also set the treatment. And all since all the medical shops are open, also we have given the direction to the medical shop people to provide medication to the patients. And we have got the cost. So we have provided medicine free of the cost to this mobile technology. Next slide, please. And I would like to give you the glimpse of what I would like to convey to this. So basically that now the education is also free. If you take developed countries, the medical any education is focused to certain things. For example, if a person is going into the medical field, here we do an MBBS course, then MD course, then we go to the super specialization. In countries like US, directly they go to the neurology field or cardiology field. Okay. And the other important thing in the developing countries, they preach ownership. They preach ownership. Whatever that you come across some intelligent observation or you identify certain things which is new. The practice in our case is to just openly delete out, and we are usually free advices. But in developed countries, they preach and promote ownership. So that is also very, very important. And we know very well that there is a distinction between creativity, invention and innovation. Creativity nothing but visual imagination towards a particular problem or process. It is just the imagination, whether you can attend that particular problem with this kind of imaginary visuals. Okay. But invention is particular practice. And you develop a prototype or viable proposal, whatever it is. So that, but unless otherwise, whatever you do, a product is developed. Unless otherwise it is put into the practice for the benefits of a particular group or a community, it is waste. So innovation is nothing but a way to operate the innovation. Okay, this is very, very important as you know that you are supposed to know that there is a distinction between, but at the same time there is a relationship between education. Next slide. So first one thing is that desirable. What the individual or the community or the patient need, that is desirable. So that is based on the person's need. Subsequently what we have is technology, whether it is possibility or feasibility. whether we can provide that particular need to the individual or community from the technology what I have. Even if you are able to provide that particular product, unless otherwise it is sustained in the market, you will not be able to go take it further forward at this level. Okay. So from the imagination you can go for invention, from the invention you go for the innovation. That's the direct relationship. But you cannot go from the imagination to directly to innovation because you cannot bypass the invention process. Okay. Next question. So innovation also includes entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is also the part of innovation because unless otherwise that you have all these things that you cannot take a product to a particular level in terms of that its utility to the individual or the community or the business. Next. Okay. There are several types of innovations. But they broadly classify into 9 groups. I would like to state only 2 of the things that is only the because that is applicable for many of us that who work in the engineering field or the medical field, or we use in the computing field. That one is the breakthrough innovation and the incremental innovation. It is very easy to work in incremental innovation because you know already what is it. That is the breakthrough innovation that you have to identify something new which earlier doesn't exist. But incremental innovation is to improve what is something existing already. Okay, next. And innovation also have 2 types, a closed innovation or open innovation. As you know that closed innovation is within a group. Within a group you have your own group and discuss it. And the major advantage of this innovation is that whatever the ideas you generate, it remains within your group and it doesn't leak to the other places. So that is you can retain these ideas and whatever that the process or product that you are going to develop is written among your group and there is no leakage. Okay, but the major disadvantage is that you will be working in a very restricted idea that you will not be getting any expert opinion from the outside. So all your ideas are related to the expertise or the knowledge that you have. Okay. So in that situation, next step is. But for open innovation, that is that you involve multiple groups. That means that you form collaborations. Whether that collaboration may be the government to government, government to private, or BP, public-private partnership. Whatever that any of these 3 partnership or collaboration that you can have among yourselves, either within the private sector or private and government sector, and also you come to the public, or any of the 3 collaborative mode you will take place. The major advantage that you get is that you get the expertise, and the major disadvantage is that there is likely to be the leakage of whatever that the product or the process that you are going to develop. That is the major leakage, the major disadvantage of this particular open innovation. Okay, what are the challenges? If you want to develop a device, what are the challenges? The challenges are mainly that for prevention of certain side effects or individual or the person who is using this. The main thing is only that whatever that temperature-based side effect to the individual or the person who is using this, or electrical-based side effect to the individuals. The other important thing is that we should follow the principles of identifying the failures, and also that you have to take care of that what material, extended material you are supposed to use. The material that you are using to develop the device is also very, very important. And the other important thing is that usually that each equipment or device has installation. That is for, say for example, suppose for example you take a car is for 15 years, bike is also 15 years. So like any other consumer product, you will have certain level of life years. But what the WHO advocates is in case of medical devices, you have are available for another next 1 or 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks, so that the patient will not go in for a repeated purchase of these things, which is against the market principle of the corporates. Okay, next slide please. Okay, there are certain innovative fitness, like you have fitness. The fitness can be either individual or it could be organizational. So it varies from your imagination and also it is your knowledge and training. But most important thing is you have to identify that which is more important for a particular product development or process development. Okay, if you find that there are 8 fitness factors which I have. Can you identify 2 most important from the individual? Anyone of you? Any 2? Attitude? Okay. What do you mean by acceptance here? What do you mean by acceptance here?
Open to learning new ideas.
Do your parents accept you?
Hopefully.
Hopefully they accept you. They don't reject you. Why do they accept?
If they like me.
Whether they like or not your activities or all these things. The acceptance is very, very important, which has come in both individual as well as the organization. Why I am saying that is more important. As you said, that who said attitude is very, very important. Unless you have that, that is the beginning point of any innovation. Unless you have an attitude, you cannot go to further businesses. And the last one, what we have acceptance. The most important things under the acceptance is to accept the failures. To accept the failures. If you are not mature enough to accept the failures, you cannot go for any innovation. Because almost 90% of your efforts are likely to go for failure. Okay. So your acceptance is more important. Okay, come to the organization. Each one of these 2 are important in the organization. Collaboration? Which 2 you would say that is very important? Other than the acceptance. So the acceptance is applicable for individual as well as organizations. R&D culture, okay. Even if R&D culture is not in an organization, you can still go for it. Fostering and collaboration is very, very important, that unless otherwise they come forward. Even if they don't provide the finance, unless otherwise they do the fostering and collaboration, you will not be able to go further. Finance is not important. Without any finance, you can go for innovation. You have an attitude, and if there is a fostering from your organization and recognition in your organization, you will be able to deal with for the innovation process. Next slide, please. Okay, what is the initial push for the innovation? The initial push for the innovation is necessity. They say, that necessity is the mother of innovation. Unless otherwise there is a need, you don't think anything, you don't imagine anything. Okay. Your imagination also is based on certain need that you are trying to focus on. The other thing is that innovation is that other one is the discontent. What is discontent? Is dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction is an important factor for the further progress in innovation. So both the need and also the discontent. That is a positive discontent. positive. I tell you the latest state what positive. So these two things are very, very important. Next slide, please. This is an example of, you know that several decades, 100 years before that, the zipper was patented. Okay. And only in 1913, the zipper was filed. Battery. You're not able to hear. Okay, you know that zipper, the initial patent was filed in 1913, but only in 1917 when it was put into practice, especially when the American Army implemented this in their uniforms. So until that zipper was not recognized, it was not famous. So that is why I said the innovation depends on how the innovation is done. Unless otherwise it is applied for the benefit of a particular group or community or an individual, it doesn't have the value of the innovation. Next slide, please. And you all know that the microprocessor that first initially was put into the by the Intel group. But subsequently, the microprocessor has been utilized in many of the equipments and the products that we have, medical diagnostics and medical devices, right from the diagnostic to the life-saving and also rehabilitative equipments, devices. So let's say that innovation, unless otherwise it is put into practice for the benefit of an individual or a group of individuals or a community, the innovation doesn't have any value. Next slide, please. So these are stages of product development, start from the ideation to the putting it into the market, commercialization. Okay. But most important thing is that you have an idea, you put it, you develop into a concept, and you develop into a viable prototype. Then from the prototype that you make it as a workable device. Then subsequently, then you have to go for commercialization. Okay. But there is a long debate on this issue that an inventor, especially that your faculty or postgraduate or student, if you develop an idea and you develop a prototype. Then most of us feel that my job is over. My job is over. I have an idea. I have put it into the idea into the process, and or I have developed into a product or a viable prototype, and my job is over with that. But what the current situation is that, as a scientist or as a faculty, is that your job is not over with that. What people now advocate is that you want to put a device into the practice, or you want to take it further forward as an innovation. Unless otherwise you know the need in the community, or unless you know the trade practices, unless you know the trade demand in the communities, you will not be able to put whatever the device that you will not be able to take it further into the market. That is why that your knowledge on the trade demand in the trade, competition in the trade. All these things also, you are, as an inventor or innovator, you are supposed to know all these things also. Unless otherwise you know that, your product will not go into the commercialization stage. Please. அது முன்னாடி slide. முன்னாடி. So you know that the ideation technique, okay, people in Western countries, they promote hundreds of ideation techniques. But what can you put into practice is very important. As an inventor or innovator, is very, very important. Unless otherwise that you know that. This you cannot apply the so-called theoretical ideation into practice. So it is depends on your current situation. Where do you work? What is the commercial situation or the trade model in this? Then what is the time limits and what is your group, what is your expertise? Unless otherwise you know all these things, that none of the ideation techniques is not going to work. But two things as far as I am concerned, based on my experience, two things are very, very, very important. Explain. What is the current scenario? People call it the brainstorm. Okay. Brainstorm, when we say that brainstorm, that you don't think that is something big. Everything is very simple. The brainstorm is nothing but that put whatever the problem into the group and find out that what are the different solutions. This is what. So to say it in simple words which I can understand is a productive discussion is the brainstorm. A productive discussion is the brainstorm. Okay. For that, what you need? You need a very small group for that. You don't require a huge crowd for you to put ideas. Because too many groups for the problem. Okay, you have a small group, and this small group have a diverse expertise to attend to the problems. Okay. And also we have to identify a documentation here. So whatever you discuss, that it will go waste unless other thing that whatever the ideas generated from each individual is not recorded. Everything is. So you have to identify a lead for the innovation. Okay. And most important thing is that you record each and every ideas generated or supplemented by every individual. Record each and every ideation or whatever the suggestions given by each individual. Okay. And evaluate each one by one. Evaluate each one by one. And you short list, you have a predetermined focus and say that how many number of ideas that I will be able to do. I want to start this. So that you should have a predetermined based on the volume of the problem or the strength of the problem or depth of the problem. You identify that how many ideas you would like to start with. Then put it, those things in practice, then develop that. Then you finalize that what kind of techniques, what kind of problem solution that we are going to take forward to solve that particular process or problem, either by way of process or product. Next. And most important thing is as equal as the brainstorming or discussing is that negative comments. The negative comments from the peer group as well as from the groups outside. Okay. Suppose you want to put an idea, because we are mostly open and we'll also discuss openly that if you want to develop a product or a process, you usually discuss among your friends. Subsequently, when somebody knows whom you may not be familiar with or whom or not interested, they always like to criticize. Okay. But don't take it in a negative sense. Take it in a positive sense. There are certain critical comments be very much useful for that development of the process or product. So your negative comments from the peer groups as well as from outsiders is very, very important, and it is, I would say that it is as equal as the brainstorm. Please take this. Okay, based on this simple discussion which we had, whatever I said, I will take you further a small case study which has been put into practice. Next slide. These are the different stages of filariasis or lymphedema, what we call it. But there are two stages of lymphedema. The stage 1 is a transient bleeding. It comes and goes. Patients switch overnight. The next day, the patient gets up, then on it is swelling. And stage 2, it is a persistent swelling. But it is completely resolved. Completely resolved. That means if you give certain treatment, it will completely resolve. But stage 3 and 4, especially stage 3 in the earlier stages, it is partially reversible even in treatment. Partially it's not reversible. But grade 4 is irreversible. Irreversible bleeding. Unfortunately, that till today that we have no therapeutic measures to completely bring back normalcy for these patients, especially when we go for stage 3 or 4. Okay. And the other unfortunate part of the problem is, even in stage 4, unless the patient reaches a particular size, and there is a certain amount of fibrosis, we will not be able to go for surgical procedures. So the patient has to suffer for a long time with that swelling in stage 4. Next slide, please. So what we usually advocate to the patient? Keep the lymph clean so that the patient will not develop infection. Inspect the lymph very frequently so that you have no eye failure or any other changes, so that there is no bacteria enters into the skin and the patient develop fever and other things. And also that we ask the patient to do manual massage. Next slide, please. Manual massage. Okay. Every day the patient has to practice the manual massage. So these are the practices the patient has to follow right now, especially when the patient comes to the break. Even with manual massage, there is going to be a residual swelling in the patients. Next slide, please. So we also ask the patient, once after doing the manual massage, we ask them to apply the green bandage or the stockings till the end of the swelling, so that when the patient starts walking, that there will not be any rebound of edema, so that the patient will not have further swelling. Next slide. We also ask the patient to elevate the limb when the patient sleeps, so that there is no stasis continues. The fluid that is getting collected slowly goes back to the system, so that the swelling comes down. Next slide. We also provide an pneumatic compression therapy. This is what we have, the pneumatic compression machine. How it functions is that in this sleeve you have 4 compartments. That's a distal compartment which is on the foot, the proximal compartment on the foot, and the distal compartment is on the thigh. We have several sleeves like this. We have 6 compartments, 8 compartments. So that depends on the need of the patients. You can have the 4 compartment sleeve, 6 compartment sleeve, or 8 compartment sleeve. How it functions is that we are replacing the manual massage with the mechanized machine. Okay. It is a sequential compression machine. What happens is, initially that proximal compartment gets inflated in the particular pressure, so that it pumps part of the correction movement. Subsequently, then it gets deflated, and the next compartment gets inflated, and it presses that particular part of the limb. Then the second compartment gets released, deflated, and third compartment is inflated so that the fluid is pushed upwards. So this is happening in the sequential way. That is what we call as a sequential decompression therapy. What we call it as a sequential decompression therapy. And the patient has to get it when the patient comes home from camp this evening, that the patient can apply this so that whatever the fluid gets collected into the lymph, it can be pushed back to the system. Next slide, please. As I said earlier, the necessity is the mother of invention. Discontent is the father of innovation, that it can progress further from what you have. So this is the patient who has been coming to us for a long time. He's around 8 years old. He continued to cycle. He continued to practice whatever we are giving to the patient. And he is trained yoga. He has been trained in yoga also. He can do the yoga also. But this patient once told me that though I am able to get relief, some relief, or not a desirable relief, I get acceptable level of relief in my swelling above the ankle. He said that if I have a technique, it can push my fluid from the foot. It will be very, very useful for me, like that. Okay, this is what he said. That is actually discontent for the patient. The patient was satisfied that I am not able to get a desirable outcome from the therapy. Though I have some kind of relief for swelling, but I am getting the desirable relief for swelling in the foot. This is what is discontent. So that made us to think what we should do on this. Okay, next slide, please. So that means that the routine decompression machine which we have put into practice, which we have given to him, is not sound enough or sufficient enough to push the fluid which is present in the foot. Okay, this is the problem, this content, and this is the problem for us. Next slide, please. So the problem here is in a sequential decompression therapy. And this is an analog machine, whatever we have here. The primary issue here is the pressure in the compartment or the sleeves is fixed before we start the therapy. Either 20 mm of mercury, 30 mm of mercury, or 35 or whatever it is. That is the doctor decided that for this level of lymphedema, you give 20 mm or 30 mm. So the physiotherapist or the staff nurse who is giving the therapy, it fixes the pressure either 20 or 30 watt the doctor advocates. And also the timer is also fixed for these individuals. So both the timing and also the pressure in each compartment is fixed. The 20 means the 20 will be there in proximal as well as in the distal compartment, and it is sequential. And what we have also identified is once the proximal compartment gets deflated and the next compartment is inflated, there is a possibility of the flow of the fluid on both the directions. Isn't it? Suppose you take an example for the second compartment. The first compartment is deflated, second compartment is inflated. So there is a possibility of the fluid going to the third compartment and also the first compartment. Isn't it? So these are the two problems in the existing machine, that which for that reason only the patient is not able to get the desirable limit what. Next slide, please. So what we have done is that we have identified the problem. We formed a team. We found a team with vector control center ICMR, and also the online instrument medicine department. We found a team. Okay. So we established a collaboration. So what we have is I am clinicians in the I was the clinician in the team. The problem I have identified. I have also suggested This kind of solution is possible, and we discuss and then find out what we have. Okay. So in the Anna University, there was instrumentation engineer. That's another electrical engineer who had a biomedical experience, and there's another instrumentation engineer who had the simulation experience. So we formed a collaboration, formed a team. Subsequently, that we have discussed with the management, and without the management, we cannot go further. So what we have done is we have established the collaboration between the Anna University Instrumentation Department and our clinical department of XMR Control Research Center. And we have made these two organizations to sign a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And it is a restricted MOU, one need to develop a decompression method for the regulatory purposes. That is the restricted MOU for this particular product. Next. So what we have done? We have initially first 6 face-to-face meetings with all the experts, and subsequently we have several conferences on the mobile phone. And every idea, every discussion was recorded by a common person who is an analyst. And subsequently that we have discussed. We have discussed in 2 expertise groups. One is the Anna University Industry Collaboration Department, and in Scientific Advisory Committee of the Control Research Center. And based on all these discussions, we took 2 decisions. What are the most of the decompression machine available in practice is the analog machine. So we want to decide whether we go for an analog machine or a digital machine. The group ultimately finalized that we go for a digital machine because in future that anyhow all analog machines are likely to go for digital machines. Second one is that whether we go for a fully automatic or semi-automatic device. So this was again discussed and we said that since the device is particularly for lymphedema patients. Of course, lymphedema is common in India and other poor countries and developing countries. But there are different kinds of edema is also prevalent in Western countries or developed countries, but the cause is completely different. The basic cause is completely different, but there are huge lymphedema patients in Western countries also. But what we thought was that initially that we put it for the program of the government of India. So we decided to go for a semi-automatic. And you know the advantages of the semi-automatic machines. And some of you must be aware that we have a semi-automatic washing machines earlier. Now most of you use only automatic machines, but we carefully look into that. There are a lot of advantages in semi-automatic machines, but at the same time that a major advantage of this automatic machine is you just push it inside and forget it. So you won't bother about it. But in this particular case, what we have decided was whether we have decided that the patient's desire should be also attended to this. So the patient says that I need a problem, my problem is not the whole limb. The other part of the limb is getting, the swelling is getting reduced, but only a particular part is not getting reduced. So what we have done is that we thought that we go in for patient operable machine. Okay, the patient can also decide the pressure. This is the decision that we have made. Next slide, please. So we developed a semi-automatic machine in which that the patient can control all the 4 channels, the pressure. But at the same time, we have put the upper limit. The pressure cannot go beyond particular limit, so that the patient, whatever after that, whether the patient pushes the button, automatically gets released. The pressure cannot go beyond that particular fixed limit. So this is the prototype we have developed in 2019. Next slide, please. And also we have filed a patent in 2020. Okay, and we are waiting for the final since this is semi-automatic decompression machine, a digital machine, and especially for failure liquid publications, that will be likely to get. We have already got it published, and it's almost the particular period is over. and we are like to get the patent for this. That's it. And most important thing that organization is very, very important because many of your faculties, organization is very important. Unless otherwise the organizations are good, the faculties are not going for the right kind of innovations. The organization failure leads to devastation. Don't think that innovation is very big. You don't require any intelligence for being an innovator. Okay. But curiosity is very important. Unless otherwise you are curious. And third thing is unless otherwise you are an intelligent observer, you cannot be an innovator. Innovation is not a Himalayan task. Innovation is not a Himalayan task. And the product that cannot be a huge product or it can be a very product. It can be any very simple product. You see. You all know that. Paper clips, you know. Paper clips was invented. It is a small wire which has been put into a structure. And they filed a patent 100 years back. Filed a patent 100 years back. Okay. Anybody would think that it's a product? If you are developing this going thing, you would think it's a product? You won't think it's a product. Because you don't think that it's an innovation. Because you don't think it's an innovation. Toilet paper. No. Toilet paper has been patented. So many years back. Do you think that it's a product? Or do you think it's an innovation? It's an innovation. It has been patented. It's a patent document for toilet paper. Next slide, please. Two important things. We want to be an innovator. Be mature enough to play the secondary role so in your team. Don't think that I am the person that I have to be. Be mature enough to play even the secondary role in your team. Next, more important is be prepared for the hardship. Without hardship, you cannot have any innovation. Okay, next slide. Thank you for silent listening. Do you have any questions? Okay. Sorry, I have taken 9 minutes beyond your schedule.
So you mentioned innovation, right? And a lot of us are doing projects in order to research on how to innovate something. So how do I get noticed without having a partner with a major company or the government or something? How do I establish myself and my innovation?
As a project.
No, I already do it as a project.
You have already completed the project?
Huh?
You have already completed the project?
One project, yes.
Okay.
So how do I kind of move forward to develop it as a product? Already you mentioned in your slide itself, and then from testing to commercialization is a big word. So how does one go about it?
For commercialization?
Yeah.
No, first thing is, most important thing, especially for faculty or students, is if you have a project, okay, if you know the outcome of the project can be any of these things. Either it generates a knowledge. Either generate knowledge means that it going for capabilities. Okay. Or through the project you have a process. Okay. Or through a final outcome is likely to get into a product. Okay. First and most important thing is once you complete the project, you have to decide whether it goes to the knowledge or it goes to the process or product. You say that your outcome is related only to knowledge, go for publication. Okay. If you feel that the outcome is either it will end up a process or a product, don't go for publications. Once you publish it, it comes in the public domain, and you cannot after that apply for any patent. Okay. If it's a process, best thing is to have a collaboration within the organization, within your university, or with the other departments of your university. Okay. If it is going to be a product, then it is completely different. From the outcome, then you have to a viable prototype you have to develop. Once you develop a viable prototype, then only you can go for the patent. Okay. Of course, developing a viable patent, you don't require any support or collaboration from outside. But when you want to take the product to the reality for commercialization, one most important thing that I think I forgot to do. Most important thing that you have to have in your mind is cutthroat competition in the market.